Today on ELN Morning.
A serious topic being told through film. We have the director in studio.
Get ready to laugh, a comedian is here. She's already cracking jokes.
And we're celebrating a birthday, Earth's birthday, with food and crafts for you to celebrate.
All that and more, ELN Morning starts right now.
Hello, and thanks for starting your day in Studio A. I'm Maya Eaglin.
And I'm Paula Blanc. It's a beautiful day today, and we got a great show today as well.
Yeah, we've got some arts and crafts, we've got some fun snacks. It's going to be a great show for you guys today.
Absolutely.
And also, it's National High Five Day, so we're going to have a segment later in the show.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Well, I cannot wait. But first, we have Brooke Wivag in the studio with the stories making headlines this morning. Brooke?
Good morning, Paula Maya. With just 106 days left until the start of the 2016 Rio Olympics, the Olympic torch is officially on its way. The flame left from Olympia, Greece early this morning following a ceremony and will be carried 12,000 torchbearers before the Games. The torch will arrive in Brazil on May 3rd and then leave for a 100-day journey across the country. It'll travel through 500 cities and villages around Brazil. The Olympics will begin on August 5th. And in some national news, 3 government workers in Flint, Michigan were charged with covering up evidence of lead contamination in the water. These men were the first to be charged in Flint as the government continues to investigate why the city's drinking water has been unsafe for months. And across the pond, Queen Elizabeth II is celebrating her 90th birthday today. Queen Elizabeth is the longest reigning British monarch and has been on the throne since 1952. Though today is the Queen's actual birthday, it isn't officially celebrated until June for ceremonial purposes. In June, the Queen's birthday will be celebrated with pageantry, parties, and longer pub hours. That's what's making headlines this morning. I'm Brooke Wivag. Paul and Maya, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. And you may have seen a new hashtag making headlines on your social media. Members of ELN's Kappa Zeta chapter of Sigma Kappa sorority have started a social media campaign, #ActualSororityMove, to redefine what it means to be in a sorority. Women from many of ELN's Greek organizations posted photos on Instagram and Facebook with captions showing how they say they do not fit the typical sorority stereotype. The campaign called out sites like TotalSororityMove.com for perpetuating stereotypes. The campaign has received a multitude of responses, both positive and negative, and yesterday Total Sorority Move published an article firing back at the campaign, stating that the goal of their website is, quote, simple, to entertain sorority and other college-aged women, not to define them, end quote. ELN Local News has contacted Sigma Kappa's national headquarters with a request for comment with no response.
If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, the Holly Hill Mall is hosting the Burlington Mini Maker Fair. This free and educational fair will host interactive exhibits on Saturday. You can see actual moon rocks from the Apollo missions and try quilt making, glass blowing, and woodworking. Participants can race quadcopters and create 3D prints. Student inventors from ELN's Maker Hub will be there too. The event begins at 10 a.m. and lasts until 5.
And if you get inspired by the Burlington Maker Fair, Friday night could be your chance to share your big idea. Innovation House on West Challenger Avenue is hosting a 24-hour startup weekend. This is an opportunity for students to team up and develop a realistic, applicable idea worth up to $1,000. Junior Austin Krause, one of the hosts, says the event was modeled after the National Startup Weekend, a 54-hour entrepreneur competition. The event begins this Friday at 6 p.m. where teams briefly pitch their ideas and have 24 hours to develop the concept. First place wins $1,000, second place wins $600, and third place $400, all sponsored by the university. Free coffee and snacks will be provided by Oak House for participants. For more information, contact Martin Sharp at msharpjr@elon.edu.
Celebrate is ELN's annual week-long celebration of student achievements in academics and the arts. Starting this Sunday, the week will be filled with award ceremonies, student undergraduate research presentations, and more. On Tuesdays, classes are canceled for students to present and to attend Student Undergraduate Research Forum, most commonly known as Surf Day. Also on Tuesday at 7 p.m. is the ELN Docs premiere in the basement, room 011, in the School of Communications. On Wednesday and Thursday, there are various award ceremonies for different honor societies, and on Friday, ELN University Gospel Choir hosts their spring performance titled, quote, In God's Presence. The event begins at 7 p.m. in McKinnon Hall. For a full list of events, go to elonlocalnews.com.
And while not every Elon student is participating in Celebrate Week, some are still trying something new. The Elon Circus Club is officially up and running. The club began earlier this fall as a place for members to juggle, spin, or do magic in their free time. Founder and president sophomore Joshua Bothwell hopes to have a table at the org fair next fall, as well as to have a chance to perform in different events like Family Weekend and sports games. Bothwell's goals with the club is to create an open and fun environment for people of all skill levels.
It warms my heart to see the campus so openly, so happily, so greatly coming to me and wanting to be a part of this community, because that was what I was scared of. I was scared of being called a freak or having this stigma about me that circuses for weirdos and stuff like that. But it's been a wide diversity of people, from everyone from football players to musicians to fraternity and sorority people to everybody on campus coming around to try and be a part of this.
While some students are creating clubs, others are creating movies. On a more serious note, a few Elon students and an alumna worked together to create an emotional short film discussing a heavy topic, domestic abuse. This short film is titled T-Shirt and explores abusive relationships.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Where were you?
I got tied up at work. I'm sorry.
You don't have to do this.
I
Go.
swear.
What is wrong with you?
Wait, I'm sorry.
You know what you over here?
I was stuck.
I'm so sick of your excuses.
Here now. We can sit down.
I'm so out. Yes, here.
Paul.
We have our previous ELN Morning executive producer, Jenny Hook, in studio to talk to us a little bit more about this short film. Jenny, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So tell us, what's this film about?
So this is basically the story of a girl trying to move on from a dangerous relationship. And you see her starting off kind of okay, things get a lot worse, and then she kind of has an epiphany at the end of it.
Interesting. So how did you get the inspiration for this film, and where did you get it?
So when I was 13, I was sexually assaulted, and at the time I was very embarrassed and confused and wasn't really sure how to kind of handle what had happened to me. And for a lot of time, I just didn't handle it. And then about 2 years ago, I wrote this piece called T-Shirt. It wasn't a screenplay, it wasn't supposed to be a film or anything, it was just something to kind of help me. And I noticed that it was, the way I'd written it, it would sound like I was getting over it, and I was like, wow, like let's go after this. So, you know, it turned into a screenplay, it turned into a film, and that's where it is now.
So what was it like reliving those experiences, and what did you learn from this?
It was hard. There's a scene in there that we shot just one time because we couldn't do it again. I personally couldn't handle doing it again, but I think it was important because it made me kind of face things in a better state of mind than I had been, and it was much easier to kind of take in and digest and process it. And so I'm hoping now that someone else can see it and they'll have that same kind of reaction of saying, I can move past this. There is life after sexual assault, and it can be a good life.
All right. Now, can you talk about the production end? Because at the end of the day, you're still a college student.
Right.
Producing a movie can't be easy. Can you talk about who's involved and how you made this come together?
Yeah, so I actually assembled a team of other ELN students. A lot of them were involved in helping me kind of get through things and work through things here in college. And they were very proactive. We actually knocked out shooting in only a weekend of time, and then it just took a few months after that for editing and sound and everything to come together. So yeah, completely student run.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jenny. We already miss you here on set. If you want to see the whole film, stop by the Global Media Room at 7 p.m. tonight.
It's been so warm outside, but is this nice weather here to stay? We've got it coming up. And when we come back, we took a look at sustainability at Loy Farm for Earth Week and beyond.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
The weather has just been fantastic
It
lately.
has been lovely.
I know. I put away my winter jacket and taken it back a few times. I think it's away for good.
I think it's gone. It's there to
So
stay.
let's hope. Let's hope. I have it buried deep in my closet.
Good.
So let's hope it's way good. Our Emmanuel Morgan is in downtown Elon with this week's forecast. Emmanuel, what can you tell us?
Thanks, guys. Right now it's kind of chilly, but the rest of the day looks nice, with the high of 79 and the low of 60. But tomorrow, not so much. Let's look at the Phoenix 5-day forecast. So Friday looks rainy, with a high of 77 and low of 54. But Saturday looks great, with a high of 79 and low of 50, which is great for the Elon football scrimmage at 6:30 at Rose Stadium. Sunday will be perfect with a high of 82 and low of 54. And to start the week off, both days of the week look great. Monday, you have a high of 87 and low of 60. And Tuesday, you have a high of 89 and low of 59. Now, before I throw it back to the studio, if you look behind me, you'll see the Elon Community Church. From 3 to 6:30 today, there will be a farmer's market. So if you're looking to celebrate Earth Week and get some fresh fruits and veggies, I guarantee you don't want to miss it. That's all I have for weather. Now back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Other Earth Week events for this week include midnight meals tonight in Arazi with a performance from Laugh-Alongs. The night starts at 11. Tomorrow, head over to Speaker's Corner for the Party for the Planet at 3 p.m. Learn about sustainability around campus and enjoy performances from Ripcord, Vital Signs, and Elon's Finest. For the final day of Earth Week, Elon Outdoors is hosting a canoe trip and river cleanup event at the Dan River on Saturday. Tomorrow's Earth Day is the 46th anniversary of the modern environmental movement that began in the 70s.
Star Gary Grumbach took a trip to Loy Farm right around the corner to find the real meaning of the annual celebration.
We do a lot with the green design and like micro homes and stuff like that, and then we also have the solar farm out here. But mainly we work with like food security and working to promote local food awareness and helping out your local farms.
Senior environmental science major Alyssa Alder works as the student Loy Farm and community garden manager. She says being sustainable is fulfilling for the environment and herself.
It's just gaining a sense of reconnection, or like reconnecting with nature in general, and for everyone, especially at Elon, to get back to the roots and just get out in nature and love your earth.
With Earth Day approaching, environmental science professor Stephen Moore says it's time for students to think about how their food is grown.
When Earth Day comes along, we refresh our understanding, refresh our commitment, and hopefully, like a New Year's resolution, it carries us around to the next Earth Day.
And for Alder, that is the true meaning of Earth Day.
Not only do we get to like grow the food, but we also get to see how it's made in like the kitchens and then how it's distributed, and you really get to get it from like basically seed to like mouth.
If you love something, you'll save it. And for me, I hope that that's one of the main things people take away is, wow, this earth is worth saving, and I understand a little more how to do it.
Earth Day or not, for Alder, Time on the farm.
Oh, I love it. It beats working in an office like any day. I would prefer this over anything.
Gary Grumbach, ELN Local News.
Loy Farm generates more than 3,000 pounds of food a year, most of which is donated to allied churches and Campus Kitchen.
Now, we didn't use any of those vegetables from Loy Farm for this week's college cooking, but our Selena Guevara put together 3 tasty treats to celebrate this Earth Day in style. Now those all look delicious, but this is the one I've wanted to try.
I really wanted to try dirt. I was like, we're making dirt, I'm eating it.
Absolutely. I remember I used to try and get these at restaurants all the time when I was younger with my family and never
Crystal
thought
too.
about making it.
Just as I remember.
Yeah, really good.
So good.
Really good.
Childhood is so sweet.
I know.
Now our Allie Dietz is back with an affordable and earth-friendly way to spice up your dorm.
Decorating your college dorm on a college budget can be a hard thing to get done. Something that should be fun and exciting becomes stressful and exhausting. I'm here to tell you 2 ways you can turn your dorm from drab to fab on a college budget.
You're gonna need at least 10 toilet paper rolls, a stapler, staples, and scissors. First, you're gonna wanna flatten an empty roll, then you cut the roll into 4s. Next, you're gonna staple the pieces together. Continue doing this until you have reached your desired design. For the second decorating tip I have for you, you're gonna need colored markers, 2 empty rolls of toilet paper, and 1 piece of paper. First, you're gonna cut the paper in half. Once you've cut the paper in half, you're gonna fold it around the toilet paper roll. Then you're gonna cut it to the size of the toilet paper roll, staple it to the roll, and then design it to your liking. These cheap decorated pieces are not only fun to make, but they're perfect to decorate your dorm or give to your mom for Mother's Day. Allie Dietz, ELN Local News.
Thanks, Allie. You know what they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Benson in the studio, coming up.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Elon Tonight member, stand-up comedian, and she's only a freshman. We have Hannah Benson with us in the studio to start our day with a laugh. Thank you so much for being here, Hannah.
Oh my God, it is my pleasure.
So how did you start with comedy? I want to know.
Well, sometimes I tell funny stories and people laugh. So someone dared me to stand up in front of an audience, and I did, and here I am.
So what else do you do on campus? You're involved in?
I'm on ELN Tonight, which is really fun. It's a sketch comedy show. I'm a cast member, and it's great. And I'm a leadership fellow with my ELN, which is a lot of fun.
Okay, very impressive.
And I'm in AZD, which is very fun.
Great. Well, we have a live studio audience here, and we're going to let you take it away, Hannah.
Cool. Thanks, friends.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Hannah. And I guess I just wonder how I'm supposed to grow old with the name Hannah. I mean, it's not the kind of name I would pin on an elderly person. Mainly because it's so like youthful and fun, but maybe that's because I'm youthful and fun and flirty and fresh. But I just don't see myself being taken seriously someday with the name Hannah as like a 50-year-old woman. Yeah, I mean, like, if we're being honest, I think Hannah has a shelf life of about 14 years. I should have been killed. I should have been killed 4 years ago. But, I mean, with that being said, there's an analogy that makes more sense with other names. So, for instance, I want you guys to all imagine that there's a delivery room, and, like, a pair of parents has just brought their child into the world for the first time. And they look at their baby, and they call their baby by his first name for the first time, and they call her Ethel, which is horrible. But the thing is, just think about this. There are old women named Ethel, and at one point they were babies. But you can't call a baby Ethel. That's wrong. How about like Mildred or Ruth or Mary Lou, Phyllis? I say these names because I have elderly family members with these names, and I don't know how they did it, but they all must have been born around age 50 because you can't come out of the womb with the name like Ethel. How about Helen? I have a friend named Helen. She's not here today, but I just need her to know that she needs to age about 6 decades before I take anything she says seriously. How about Bertha? There was a girl in my preschool class named Bertha. That one's not a joke. And I just remember we were learning the alphabet, and she had crayons, and she was struggling to write the letter J. And I knocked them out of her hands and punched her in the face. And I was like, Bertha, like, you've known this for decades. Don't fake for attention. It's weird. And I mean, and this can go the other way too. So like, I want you to imagine that you're in the hospital with your grandma, and she's on her deathbed, and that's a little. I'm sorry, it's so early for that. And she's about to take her last breath, and you're like, "We'll always love you, Grandma Brittany." And it's spelled it's spelled Brittani. Because she was in the 7th grade and she changed the spelling of her name because she was a punk rocker and she wanted to piss off her parents. How about like Great Aunt Zoe or like Grandma Brandy, or like she makes you call her Randy because she like dyed her hair pink and got a belly ring and has like a new ego and you have to call her Randy. I mean, there's just some names that should never age. So if you meet like a Carly or a Casey or a Candy, that's not a joke. I met a girl named Candy at a summer camp once. You should just do everyone a favor. Take her life right now. Nothing personal, it's a public service. So with that being said, I really can't complain because my parents were original with the name Hannah. That one's a joke, you can laugh at. By that I mean that they picked the 4th most popular baby name that year, male or female. And they thought they were being like really creative when they did a name that spelled the same forwards as is backwards. But if that was part of the criteria, I guess I wish my name was Race Car or Taco Cat, because I'm really over being called Hannah B or that Hannah. And I guess I just don't know a Taco Cat, so that would be cool. But yeah, I mean, my parents were in a delivery room and were handed their child in a blanket that was too small. I was actually 10 pounds at birth. I was 3 weeks early, and I've been the same weight ever since. So they were handed a baby in a blanket, and they look at me for the first time, and they say my name, Hannah. And it was like fine. It was fine for an hour. But at the end of that hour, they caught a whiff of what was going to be the most personal struggle for the rest of my life. Because the women in the 2 delivery rooms on either side of my parents had both named their baby daughters Hannah. And so the war began. Thank you.
Hannah Benson, thank you so much for joining us. That was fantastic.
So good. So
Yeah,
funny.
that was
Always
awesome.
so funny.
Yeah.
You always make me laugh. I tell her this all the time. All right, next up we have our Kenneth Brown Jr. in studio to show us how he's going to jazz up that basic high five. Great job.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener and loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
You may or may not know this, but it is National High Five Day. On our staff, who better to teach us about high fives than Kenneth Brown Jr. Hey, Kenneth.
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Well.
That's good, that's good. So today's a big day, but first there are many ways to say hi. You know, you got the classic wave, and then you got the classic fist bump, and then you got the shrug of acknowledgement, but the most famous one of all is the high five, and it's so famous that it has its own day. Today is National High Five Day, and let's learn some history before teaching some high fives. So on every third Thursday in April, since the holiday's inception in 2002, National High Five Day is celebrated. The holiday began with a group of college students at the University of Virginia who wanted to give out lemonade and high fives, all to spread good cheer and meet new people. Today, it has turned into something bigger. These same students created the National High Five Project in 2010, raising money to donate towards a different cause each year. In the past, this has included cancer research or helping victims and those injured in the Boston Marathon bombings 3 years ago. For more information about National High Five Day, visit their website, nationalhighfiveproject.org. So I'm a pretty smart guy, I like to think. So I did some research, and now I'm here to show you guys some high fives.
Great,
so
I'm
the
ready.
first high five is just a simple high five, and it's all about the angling, so you don't want to go in too hard or too soft.
Simple, like simple.
So yeah,
right,
it's pretty cool. The next high five, if you're familiar with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will and Jazz had their signature high five. So you're gonna do that, then you're gonna turn to your right. So
You got it, yeah.
so yeah.
Honestly, one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
a great show. So next is the Miss Me High, Catch Me Low. So Paul, Miss Me High, Catch Me Low. Yes. I know, right? And then the next, if you're feeling yourself a little bit, you want to give yourself some props. You gotta, the little self five. Like great job, self.
Love it.
Yeah, because self-love is important. And the next high five to end this is the epic high five. We all give high fives all around.
All right, right.
Awesome.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for joining us. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Thanks.